I may live in Seattle, but I always have a sunny disposition.
I'm Michelle from the Bronx, and I'm far from a real housewife.
I'm Eric, and I have a dog. Hey everybody, Eric Hurdo here from YourRealityRecap.com with our Real Housewives of New Jersey recap. And I know, I'm so sorry, we have been away for a little bit of time, but we have so much to get to between the Jacqueline phone call, the fight, the aftermath, Dr. V. You know, we're gonna save it for the show. But speaking of saving things, make sure you stick around and save your time for the end of the episode, because I have some announcements, giveaways, and surprises in store for you at the announcements at the end of the show. And just so you guys know, there is always links below if you're watching on YouTube that allow you to skip around to any part of the show that you want. So you never have to watch the whole thing to get to something like the announcements at the end. Of course, you also know we are now on ZBox, so you can watch the Housewives of New Jersey or Orange County with us live, see exclusive content in our ZBox room. Links are below. So much more. But we're going to save for the end. Let's get into it right now. You know the deal. You can follow me over at Twitter. I'm at Reality Recaps.
Hey everybody, it's Michelle from the Bronx here. We're going to talk about Housewives. You can find me at You Got Bronx on Twitter.
We're talking Housewives of New Jersey. You can follow me at Comedy Jonah on Twitter.
And everybody already knows. I know the way John's brain just worked there was, what did Michelle say? I can't say the same thing. You know it's true, John Richardson. Okay, we have so much to get to because we have not been here in a little bit. I think before we get to the fight, which is what we're going to spend the most of our time on, we just need to talk a little bit about that phone call. With the phone call with Jacqueline and with Plastoface, where Teresa was there and she was being invited and then Jacqueline was stealing the phone. That, I think, is like what started all the chain of events. So what do you guys think about that whole phone call?
That's what started it. Yeah. The phone call, grabbing the phone. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess John doesn't have much more to say about it. I think that Jacqueline just couldn't resist that whole invite of Teresa saying, and it's Jacqueline's fault that we're in this. I swear, if I could have choreographed it, it would have just resulted a little bit with Jacqueline pushing Kathy out of the way as she grabs the phone and Kathy falls into a rack of clothes.
I thought it was a dinosaur you were talking about. A clothes-a-rack? What does that look like?
Now, Michelle, I just thought, did I just hear you wrong? Are you saying that you agree with Jacqueline that you're over Melissa? You're over Teresa blaming it all on Jacqueline?
No, I just thought that if I was going to do the scene, that I would have made sure that Jacqueline threw Kathy into a rack of clothes and to make it just more, just to have more chaos in there. And Kathy could say, "Oh, I couldn't hold back. I had to worry about my nose not hitting any of the hangers." Like, I just think that Jacqueline went off the deep end. I love Jacqueline off the deep end. She apologized a little bit afterwards on Twitter and in her blog, but it's irrelevant at this point. The damage was done. She felt a little bit bad. She always is remorseful after the event, but her in the event and that whole time that she's in it, I love that person. Why is John sipping coffee?
John?
Because it's in the morning. No, I think Jacqueline has had enough, and I think that she was wanting to have a pleasant day with Kathy. They're at a boutique. All of a sudden, it's on speakerphone. Oh, if you want to invite Jacqueline, you can. And it's just like, you know what? I'm right here, okay? She's got all the autism stuff she's dealing with. I think she just kind of had enough and had a weak moment.
Nah, I don't think it's a weak moment. I think it's a
weak
character.
moment.
I think it's all in her character, and she's always trying to refrain from doing it. I like strong women, and I don't mind an aggressive chick. And you know what? Take a stand, and she did all that.
Well, that explains why you like Teresa.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey, John, let me tell you why I like Teresa.
Oh, you're not going to tell us why you like Teresa?
I'll pause right now because everybody knows I like Teresa.
Well, I would say, oh wait, hold on. I would say as much as everybody knows that you like Teresa, everyone knows that we're Team Melissa. So let's get into it, because I'm a little bit less
Until this episode.
Right? I am a little bit less Team Melissa this week. Because, all right, look. You guys all seen it. I don't think we need to rehash this fight and the way it went down for you. So I'm just going to tell you my opinion. You guys can agree, disagree, and fill in what you want. Here's my holdout on it. I think Richie handled it very well in the whole, you're all under one roof, and running to Melissa and Kathy and Joe and being like, you involved the men, Teresa. You instigated it, which I agree. Teresa did drag her husband into it. I am going to give Joe, yeah, you cover your mouth. I'm going to give Joe Giudice
Michelle,
credit.
I got something to say.
I'm going to give Joe Giudice credit for walking away. I give him credit. The same way I think Melissa, who I never say this about, was escalating the problem just as much as Teresa was.
Listen,
go ahead.
I have nothing nice to say about Teresa. However, her saying that, you know, he called her a scumbag or whatever, I would tell my spouse if someone called me a scumbag. I mean, I don't think she did anything wrong. I mean, Melissa tells Joe everything that's said about her, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't fault Teresa for that. Yeah, it caused a huge altercation. But you know what? Everyone's an adult. They have to own their own shit, so own it. And Joe Giudice is a criminal monkey.
But he walked away. I give him credit for walking out of that room because he knew it was going to escalate. And that's my
out
only
of breath.
You guys! Oh my God!
Go.
All right. Yes, Joe walked away because he didn't want to hear any of the BS that was coming out of everybody's mouth. And he wasn't agreeing with the whole therapy resort thing anyway. So he wanted to just have his drink and be outside, and Rosie joined him. When Joey turned around and called his sister scum and garbage, that was below the belt. Kathy said it. Richie said it. They all knew it was wrong. She has every right to go out there and say, I want to leave. He just called me scum. Joe wanted him to apologize, so all he did was walk back in. Now, if you see my body pounding through a friggin' door, I'm sure there are going to be a couple of heads that are going to be like, take cover. And other people will be like, stand still. Like, they can't see you if you can't move. But Joey runs and charges him. Joey was wrong. And he did it because he reached his breaking point, according to Melissa's blog. Hey,
Yeah.
Melissa, okay, we all reach our breaking point. It doesn't result in a physical altercation. However, if there is a physical altercation with two stocky guys, keep your ass out of it.
Or come party with me.
Don't be scratching, pulling, slapping the other person. Joe Giudice was I don't know how much Richie was actually holding him back. But Joe Giudice could have creamed Joey. He had him on the floor. He went to go punch him in the rib, and I can tell that he actually held back. You could hear the sound of the pop, but it wasn't a bang. He could have busted that guy's ribs right then and there.
Joey had 10 years of frustration with Joe Giudice.
He used
10 years.
He used 10 fingers.
Pent up anger.
He used 10 fingers to keep grabbing Joe Giudice's nutsack as he was being fought. I watched it over and over again. It wasn't his mouth. It was his head. All you kept on seeing him was doing that. I was like, I wonder if he thinks he's going to get off by that. Like, I don't know. But
That's how I fight. I'll fight a nutsack.
That is how you should fight a man. You should punch him in his balls. I'm not against that at all.
He didn't punch him. He was licked like he was coddling them.
Well, as a
Teabag,
man,
teabag.
as a person with testicles and balls, Michelle, I will tell you the hitting and then squeezing and twisting would continue the pain in a way that just hitting alone wouldn't.
I'm
and
not going to
some of us
I second that. I second that.
I'm just
and
going
some
to
of
say
us
that.
do.
I'm just going to say that I have been subject to a fight
Balls?
with a grown-ass man, and I have hit him in the nuts 100 times, like, and his face. And yeah, he went down, but you just don't keep grabbing it for no reason. Joey was stuck. Joe had him. And apparently there was just black magic that appeared throughout the whole fight. I mean, yes, everybody was covered. What kind of black magic wound up happening in that fight? I'm baffled.
I know
black magic sticks to your clothing, right?
It is the same exact black magic that I have in my hair right here, which I have exaggerated for all of you. It is not hairspray. It is not hairspray with black in it, Joe. It's called hair powder, and it's like it fills in the baldness to your hair where your hair is thin, which is why after that fight,
Melissa?
Oh my God, I remembered a name.
Good.
Rebecca Romaine,
Stamos?
No, not Stamos.
No, she is divorced.
Wait,
right,
Rebecca Romaine?
Then it's not Rebecca Romaine.
Romaine.
The one who's married to Jerry O'Connell.
Rebecca Romaine.
Oh, okay, Rebecca Romaine. So she was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and she said at the end of the fight, you could see that Melissa ran to Joe instantly, putting that hat on him.
Yeah.
Because she knew all that shit came out of his hair.
Out of everything. That's the one thing. Rosie falls, gets trampled by Joey, and the only thing that Melissa is doing is saying, help your brother, and then let me get his hat and cover his head. Like,
well, I agree with I'm not against that, but here's the thing. That shows to me that Melissa really does care about her husband. She knows that's something that's going to upset him. I don't know. We can all argue on the whole running away thing. Did Teresa really run away? Could she have stayed and fought? Do I think she should have ran away? If she was really running away to get help, then good on you, Teresa. Fine, whatever. I don't think the fight is what matters. I think the aftermath, for me, says a lot more. And to see Melissa and Joe crying, being upset about it, versus Teresa in a bathtub sipping champagne, how do we make this into a TV moment, says to me more. Teresa doesn't give a shit. She really doesn't care.
Really
and Melissa
doesn't.
And Joe do.
oh my
To see her pixelated nipples in the bathtub as the waiter brings in more champagne, I was like, you are a monkey. You know what? I actually don't hate Teresa anymore. I feel sorry for her. She's uneducated. That's what it is. She's uneducated. She has no idea what she's doing because she doesn't know better.
She's having sex with a champion that fought for her on her behalf and stuck up for her. She's giving props to her husband.
I have been in many hotel rooms, and the waiter doesn't bring in champagne when I'm naked with my spouse in the bathtub.
Listen, you don't have it like that. Go to Lake George then. They might do you up, man.
Okay.
This was a Tamara Barney moment when she was in the bathtub with the flowers. Come on.
Michelle,
Yes,
Michelle,
yes.
her whole monologue, her entire life on this show has been, you're hurting our family, you're hurting our family, our parents are going to see this, our parents are going to die. After you have a physical fight, when, by her own words, you have said the worst thing to me that my father will never be able to forgive, you're so upset about it, you went in a bubble bath and had fucking champagne. No, Teresa, don't believe that you give a shit. You just want to make TV. All she wants to do is make TV.
Nope, hey, listen.
Wait. You can talk. I will let you go. But hey, everybody, comment below. Comment below. Go ahead, Michelle.
I don't care that whatever her whole premise is about the whole family. I mean, we do know that people are, having sex. It's all right for like little Joey to do a striptease for his wife, and that's not going to offend the family. I don't want to blur the lines there, but if they pixelate Teresa's nipple out, big deal. The family already knows after all these years that they're going to be on TV. The mother and father probably don't watch it and only, care about whatever money comes their way. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I thought it was awesome that she wound up having sex with her husband who defended her. Like, I think it's funny.
If the parents watched the series, they would be on Joey's side, okay? So they need to watch the series. And secondly, come on. I mean, who has a fight like that and all of a sudden I'm in the bathtub? Champagne.
I have fought for many women, and I have conquered people, and I was always rewarded
in a bathtub?
Great sex. I was always rewarded with great sex every time.
In a bathtub with a waiter at a hotel?
I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it so personal because I don't want your answer to this, Michelle. I'm just saying it is different if I went out with my partner and got into a fight with someone versus there is this ginormous family turmoil that the whole world is seeing, and I just did it to the one person that is going to escalate it within my I just think, have sex all you want on camera. I don't care.
Right.
20 minutes after this huge thing happens, I would accept you to be a little bit upset. And granted, we don't know. It could have been a day later.
I was just going to say.
It could have been a day later.
I honestly think that there was much time of that footage that they were like, all right, you guys are calmed down. Why don't you do something that will relax yourselves? And they were like, let's go in the tub. I mean, that all had to be set up. I mean, the bathroom can't be that big for the cameraman to be there on top of it all. So I definitely think there was a lot of time that passed. And everybody has a decompressing time after a fight. And then there's the, okay, let's let it go. Let's do something nice. And that was it.
I don't. I think that they're animals, and if they can lick their own crotches, they would.
Well, good.
Okay, so on the fight, Melissa did tweet out yesterday if anybody had questions. And I did ask her a question.
What?
And she said, I asked her, I said, you clearly were in no position to break up the guys. Why did you scratch, slap, and punch Joe? Wasn't that for your own frustrations? And her reply to me was, my first intention was to get them off. I didn't want to hurt him, although he may have deserved the slap for calling me a skank.
And don't worry, John, I followed up with, don't worry, Melissa, the gays on the show are on your side. Because, Melissa, if it was me, I would have flipped my rings around and punched him in the face a million more times until his
I would have been like, hold my ponytail, take off my nails. I would have gone down.
Nope.
Well, they all held back. To their credit, they all held back. Just like Michelle said, Joe Giudice could have beat on him so much harder.
Yeah,
I think Melissa could have beat on Joe Giudice
he wouldn't have felt anything from her. He didn't feel it.
Yeah. They all could have done it a lot worse. All right.
Okay.
So look, we need to then go into, here comes Dr. V. Now, here's what I want to say about Dr. V. And John, I am so excited to hear what you have to say. Because look, we know, what was the name of the show again?
LA Shrinks.
LA Shrinks.
LA Shrinks.
We know that she is on a Bravo show. Earlier in the season, like the second week of Housewives, she was on Watch What Happens Live with Melissa, and they were fighting on Watch What Happens Live, and nobody ever told us at that point that Dr. V was going to be on this show. So I'm just saying, it's a little behind-the-scenes production-y stuff that I like, so I thought maybe you guys would find that interesting, meaning you guys, the viewers. We all know I've called you two about this 3 times, so excited. Okay, so in comes Dr. V. Love her. Love that she is giving the shit to Melissa. She is at least Teresa. She is giving it straight to Teresa, like, nope, you do have some responsibility. You're to blame. Stop saying you're not. Can we? I love it. But what do you guys think? Go ahead.
Well, I think that Dr. V, which I love, and the only thing I was missing was the cigarette, right? Because Dr. V smoked on LA Shrinks a lot, and I loved it with her father. But I think she had a really interesting perspective as far as maybe someone, and maybe it's not just Melissa in Joey's life, but it's who Melissa represents, and maybe she has this thing because she's older and they were close in their 20s that maybe it just...
Teresa.
Yeah.
Right, Teresa's perspective about Melissa, but not necessarily who Melissa is, but who she represents in Joey's life, that maybe she just thinks that maybe nobody's good enough for her brother. And I thought that was very interesting on Dr. V. Good job.
Now, wait, Michelle, hold on one second, because I'm just going to say I have found with the Italian families that I know, that is very much the situation. The older relatives think that you can never be that good to be in with. Trying to speak quietly. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, I think that's a go-to line for every fucking therapist, and I'm sorry, but that's what I think. The first
Says
thing
the
they're
girl
gonna
that
say,
needs a therapist.
Oh no, you did.
Sorry, Michelle. Go ahead.
Okay, I think that that's a go-to thing. I think that that's something that she, is automatically visual for all of us that are watching. Like, yeah, of course, this is what Teresa is saying. Like, nobody's ever been good enough for my brother. But that wasn't the case because that's not what Teresa said. Teresa said that it was fine, that the Melissa thing was fine, that he just wants her to be happy. She wants him to be happy. And I think as coming from a large Italian family myself and not having any brothers, that nobody is good enough for my sisters. And I am telling you, I have said it at weddings where I had to make a speech. Don't you fuck with my sister. I mean, I flat out put the law down. And
so you agree?
But you also show respect too. And I mean, Teresa hanging out with Kim D and all of those fucking chatty little scrubs talking about Melissa, talking about her cheating. She's not showing respect. She demands it, but she doesn't show it. She's a hypocrite.
Here's what I want to know, Michelle. I just want you to answer this one question. And it's just a yes or no. No explanation, just a yes or a no. Do you really think that when Melissa gets together with Kim D or all these other people and the topic of Melissa comes up negatively, it is a surprise to Teresa? Yes or no?
I'll answer that. I think the first time it was, but after the 15th, come on. Come on, Michelle.
Okay, I am going to say it is not a surprise because she's already well aware of things that are being talked about. So it's not a surprise. I'm going to say that if we're going to bring up the Kim D situation, I did some reading, so I'm back as Oracle, and I will tell you that it wasn't originally, it was actually supposed to be Dina that was supposed to do that whole stripper thing, and Dina, Caroline's sister, declined it. Then another person was supposed to do it, and they declined it. And they said, hey, Kim, would you do it? And Kim jumped all over it, and she was the reason why that went down the way it was. Melissa was well aware something was going down, but she didn't know what it was. Jacqueline was aware something was going down, but she didn't know what it was. And Teresa was aware something was going down, but she didn't know what it was. It was all because of Kim D. Now, does Teresa have to say, hey, listen, I know you're going to be talking about my sister-in-law. I don't want to be there. She does, and she doesn't. After a while, it's like almost you don't have to say it. When I go around and there are people that I don't like, trust me, nobody says anything to me about the person I don't like because I flip out on them, not the person I don't like. I'm like, why are you telling me this shit? I don't want to fucking hear it. So that's what I think. Can we just go back to the Dr. V thing?
Yes. Wait, hold on. Before we go back to the Dr. V thing, John, because we're live and unedited, John, do you have to go soon?
I do at 10.
Okay, so let's wrap it up now with John, because that's in 3 minutes, right? So we should wrap it up with John.
My Dr. V thing is real quick.
Go.
Okay, I love that throughout the whole chaos when Dr. V showing up that Rosie tries to hit on her and says she's got good legs. Way to go, Rosie. You still got a chance to have sex within 6 years.
I love that part too. And the part that I really liked was at the end. For once, finally, since season 1, I saw some genuine emotion from Teresa. I really think that she's upset with the relationship with Joey, and it was so nice to see a real moment. Finally, Teresa, finally.
I cried.
I will let you end on it, Michelle. Here's what I will say about it. I agree with John. I think it is the first time we have seen a real emotion from Teresa that I actually believed. I know I said I think she's a little sociopathy, and I still think that's what it is. And I think it was like clicking into like her fourth brain, like, oh God, this is actually going to affect my life now. But clearly, based on their blogs over at bravotv.com, we know all of this is for nothing, because they all still hate each other if you're reading their blogs. Yeah. So you had such a nice moment, and then now I'm just not believing it. So, Michelle, you cried. Go ahead, finish up your thought, and end it out.
Yeah, I cried. I loved it. I'm a late comer to Jersey because I wanted to avoid the whole friggin' Housewives things that I got sucked in because of Big Brother 12 and Megan Fox. But now that I'm with you guys, I got to say that I've always felt the connection with Teresa, but she's always just been stoic and strong because she didn't want her kids as they're growing up to see her being upset about things that are going on. And I think at this moment, it was the right moment for her to cry. Or Bravo to use the footage. And just remember, Sally has always been behind everything for us. Who's Sally? Production.
Okay, well, we are going to have more Jersey Housewives for you guys, possibly not next week, the following week. We will be back again, and as soon as Big Brother starts dying down, which we're doing those shows as well, we will start picking up Housewives more. So, Michelle, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at You Got Brooks on Twitter.
John Richardson at Comedy Jonah on Twitter. Talk to me about Housewives, people.
Well, that about wraps up our show for this week. Now, don't go anywhere. I do have some exciting things to share with you guys. First up, like I said, our Z-Box room. For those of you who don't know, it's a way to access shows on your tablet, on your phone, or your computer while you're watching them to get exclusive content. So, like while the show's on, Michelle and John and I can be chatting with you. We'll be putting exclusive videos only in our Z-Box room, doing giveaways only in our Z-Box room, and you can even, like what you type in the Z-Box room, can tweet to Twitter, so you can do like 2 things at once. And it's not just for the Housewives show, it's for every show on television. It is going to change the way we all watch TV, and I am so excited about it. So if you guys want to help support the show, join our Z-Box room in the links below. Now, for some other news, if you guys are fans of the show Big Brother, then you probably already know we're doing 2 to 3 Big Brother shows every single week. One, which is just purely a comedic mashup, which you guys should really check out. You can watch that over at yourrealityrecap.com, and while you're there, enter our iPad bundle giveaway contest, because we're giving one of those away at the end of the summer. And another exciting announcement, which you may already know, we have an iTunes audio-only feed. So our regular video feed and all the other places you can get this show, that's too much and you just want to take the audio with you, well now you can do it in our iTunes audio feed. Of course, the links to that are below. So click around this video, check everything out. We have so much more in store for you guys this summer. Thank you so much for supporting our shows, loving them, sharing them on social media, and for now, for Housewives, I'm pretty sure we'll be back next week, if not, definitely the week after, but we're always pumping out tons of Big Brother shows for you guys. So until next week, or like 2 days, see you guys all soon. Bye for now.